Hello and welcome back to the Spiritual Lounge with Courtney
And Nina.
and Oliver.
Of course.
Today we're talking holiday reset and kind of getting overwhelmed during the holidays, how to kind of pause and reset, and kind of our little tips and tricks for that.
Yeah, and what to do if you get super triggered by family stuff.
Yes.
And you need to just bring yourself back
Yes.
to a moment of calm.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you've gone through Thanksgiving, maybe some things come up with that, and
Yeah.
now you're looking at Christmas or the holiday season and going back into that environment.
Yeah.
And how to maybe pause a little bit and, look at things a little differently.
And also, too, like sometimes families can bring up a lot of questions.
Yes.
Like they can just be grilling you about your life. And especially if you're on a spiritual path, it might not look like the typical white picket fence situation going on.
I mean, honestly,
yeah,
it's like dating, right? It's like either you're dating and you're out there like, hey, have you found anybody? Even if you're married, they're like, have you had kids? You had kids. They're like,
I know.
Have you gotten a promotion? And you're like, this is never ending.
Yeah,
like,
it's like never enough sometimes.
Yes.
And I don't think people always mean it from like a bad place, but it can be a lot.
It is.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we forget that, right? We get all excited. At least I'm like, oh, the holiday season, all the beautiful things that come with it and all of these things. But sometimes you just gotta kind of like pause and take a moment for yourself and find that little escape.
Yeah, I think that's what we wanted to talk about and share our greatest tips on how to do that, how to bring yourself back to that moment of calm and to bring yourself back to yourself, essentially, when you're feeling like you keep getting questioned by a lot of people, or maybe there's some family drama going on and you feel yourself like getting sucked into that and you're like,
not to get triggered.
Right? And you're like, this is not the vibe, but I'm overwhelmed. So Courtney, do you want to start?
Yeah. So for me, I really heavily rely on meditation and sound healing. Obviously, as you guys know, I am a sound healer, and so I will sit here and play with my bowls to kind of take a moment away. But something really big that is really small that I do is I try to plan like a little mini escape when you're with people. So I mean, like go to the bathroom, go into the coat closet and like pick through your thing and just take a couple seconds to like take a breath, reset, breathe, because I feel like there's times where it does get stressful and it's okay to take a step away and just be like, hey, give me a sec, I gotta go to the bathroom, or like leaving that conversation. And I think sometimes we're
really smart.
That's rude. And it's like, no, obviously find the right moment to step away, but having these like little mini escapes, getting away from it, I think is super helpful.
I like that.
What do you
And then it breaks it up too. It just gives you like a moment to yourself.
And like whatever that could be, right? Like you could go and do a 2-minute meditation. You can go and do some breath work. You can go and like scroll through your phone. Whatever it is that helps you kind of like come back into the moment and be able to kind of deal with all the craziness.
I like that.
What do you try to do?
Mine is kind of similar along the lines of like meditation and taking a moment for yourself, but I also really like to have kind of like a mantra. I'm big on affirmations. I feel like just having a sentence that you can repeat, especially if you feel yourself just energetically getting kind of wonky and feeling all the vibes from all the people. I like to have something as simple as like I am safe. I am calm. I am grounded. I am centered.
Yes.
Something like that.
I think that's so important.
Or if you find yourself just unable to, like, if that's not working, you want to take it up a level, take up a notch. One of my favorite things to do is to kind of just change the focus of what you're on. So if you're going through there's like just family drama, there's family crazy, right? And it's just like too much. I would say just put yourself in the mindset of like what you're focusing on calling in, like manifestation wise. It like realigns you with where you're going, right? And it gives you that break. So if like I don't know, you have a sibling who's just causing all the drama, right? Or like just a relative who's just cray, and you're like, I'm not gonna get caught up in this, but you find yourself getting caught up in it. It's like, okay, say some affirmations that are supportive of the business that you're building or the relationship that you're calling in. And it kind of takes your focus, like it takes you out of that moment and puts it in the future, which I don't always like suggest like always being out of the present moment. But sometimes if the present moment is just funky, like it's good to just focus on something that brings you joy and like looking towards a positive future. Yeah. So that's something that I like to do.
I love that advice.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a super quick pause here, and we will go over to a tarot reading for the week from Nina here. Yeah. And we will see you guys in a couple minutes.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello, and welcome to your mini reading. This week's episode was all about a holiday reset. So Ollie and I are going to pull an oracle card to see what's the energy with you this holiday season. What's something that you might want to consider or keep an eye out for? So these two are calling my name. So, okay, interesting. We have something missing, and then we have phobias, anxieties, and overcoming fear. What's interesting with this message is like very specific for someone. This one is about intimacy and fertility issues. And then this one is about anxiety and overcoming fears. So are you wanting to expand your family? Are you wanting to take a new direction with your family? And are you letting old belief systems, specifically belief systems that have come up through your own family line, are you letting those cloud your judgment, cloud your vision of the future, and cloud what you're calling in? Because when we have these anxieties and these fears that we're really here to overcome, the holiday season is prime time for these sorts of things to come through and really like manifest themselves. You'll have found yourself probably doing really well in a certain area, but there's nothing like your great aunt or a sister or a cousin to really just kind of rock your foundation a little bit. And this is when these types of cards come up, these are opportunities for us to go a little bit deeper and get to the root of an issue. And essentially the root of an issue is always getting to decide to do things in a new way. Like you're not bound by the way your family has done things. You're not bound by the way you've even done things up until now. You get to make a decision that's more in alignment with you. So with these cards about the anxiety and the overcoming fears, just remember you're allowed to chart a new path for yourself, and you're actually being really encouraged to do that right at this time. Because back maybe a few years ago, maybe when you were just starting on your path, the holiday season would definitely not be a time where you would have the strength to really stand up for yourself, to really stand by your decisions or stand by the goals that you're envisioning for yourself. But you're getting better at working with energy. You're getting better at holding your own, and you're really being encouraged by spirit to take a look at what's missing and go for it. So this was your mini reading. I hope it found you well, and enjoy the rest of the conversation on the podcast.
Hey guys, welcome back. Hey. I hope you enjoyed the tarot reading for the week.
Yes.
We were just chatting here on the break a little bit about, how to handle people's energy during the holidays. And, I think a really big piece of this is everyone's on their own journey, right? And there may be some negativity or frustration, and it's like when people go through, a divorce, and then you're like, I just met someone. They're like, be careful, kind of like that scorned. And that is completely fine and completely fair. But I think it's really important to make sure that you're protecting yourself, and you're also understanding like their point of view. So when someone goes off and is like super pissed off about something, it's like,
it's just a projection of what's going on with them, and maybe some things that they haven't worked through yet, or they haven't healed through yet.
Which I think a really big one is when people comment on like your body.
Oh.
When you're like,
oh my gosh,
you've lost too much weight. You must have gained weight.
Or if they'll say something like, oh, I preferred your hair that way than what you're doing now. It's like, okay, thanks for telling me. Like, stuff like that. Yes. And it's just like, okay.
And you gotta remember that's a projection. Like they're unhappy with their body. They're unhappy with something that's happening in their life, and they're projecting that onto you. So I always caution you, like, going through the holidays can be challenging, but just
don't take it personally too.
And like, don't take it personally, because it's a lot of times a projection.
And again, people who are like very healthy, very healed, living lives that they're really excited about, they're not going around saying stuff like that either.
They're not spreading rumors.
And we all know this, but sometimes you just need that reminder that it truly is it's not me, it's you. And try not to take it personally.
And that's hard. Honestly, it's hard. And I think it takes you to a step of having to be healed at a certain level yourself to like recognize
and to be able to have compassion for people who clearly are not.
Well, especially family, right? Like you see these things and you start to realize these patterns that come down from our ancestors and our parents and grandparents. And you get to kind of pause and go like, where is it actually coming from? Is it actually them, or was it like a learned thing? And maybe you've changed that, but maybe they haven't yet. And that's okay, but just acknowledging mentally, not to them, that like
I know you're not healed yet.
Yeah, so. You can't be like, I know you hate your body. Thanks for commenting on mine.
Yeah, I know that would not go over well.
Definitely not. But I think, just having that basis of kind of being compassionate and having those boundaries with people is really important.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, Nina, what would you suggest crystal-wise to like maybe have in your pockets or keep around during the holidays?
So one of my favorite ones that will reflect back the energy is going to be black obsidian.
Ooh.
So this is one you can find in bead form, and you can like make a bracelet or a mala with it.
Love that.
You can typically also find it in earrings. You can get a rough piece as well.
Ooh.
I mean, you can get big pieces, little pieces, but just having something of that on you, it's very effective. Like the energy of black obsidian is reflective.
Yeah.
So it's gonna kind of take the edge off some of these things that you might be getting hit with from family members. Another great one is selenite. Selenite is very cleansing. I know you love selenite as well.
Selenite.
It's a beautiful crystal that not only cleanses the energy of other crystals and jewelry, that sort of thing, but it just creates a calm in the environment. So if you're hosting, having some selenite pillars out, those would be an amazing addition to your house. I mean, that's a good thing to have 24/7, in general. But really, if you're going to be having a lot of strong personalities in your space, keeping some crystals on a display is a great way to not only have your space look really nice, but
protect yourself.
Yes.
Which is actually, I think, something we should do a podcast on, is talk about like home clearings and like protections, especially during the holidays, because there are so many people that come in with different energies and
just like the different belief systems even within a family can be wild. So
but I love the idea, like a little in your pocket and jewelry, because I know a lot of times as a woman you're like, oh, I'm gonna put on a cute dress, maybe you don't have a pocket, but even keeping it in your purse, wearing it as jewelry. Like I'm always a person where I'll throw a couple little crystals as I go out, like out and about. And
a lot of crystal stores too, they have like cage necklaces. So it's a necklace on usually a really simple kind of string or cord, and then there's like a metal cage that you can put different crystals in. So the black tourmaline would be great for absorbing more negativity. So if you feel like you're really like sensitive, you might need the black tourmaline.
That's true.
If you just want to reflect back energy, the black obsidian is great.
It kind of builds that little barrier.
It does. And then selenite is another beautiful option to just keep the energy like cleansed and peaceful. Yeah.
Okay, so I have a quick question for you. So say you have one of these crystals, right, and you have it with you. I've had random scenarios where I'll be with people or around certain situations. Somehow the crystal goes like missing or it's like lost. Is there like something with losing a crystal and like a meaning behind that?
1000%. So there's a couple ways you can look at this. So it's either the crystal did its job. And crystals, they have their own consciousness too, which is wild. They have their own frequency. That's science. That's been proven. And so sometimes a crystal is in your life for a specific thing, and then it needs to leave. And it's not uncommon to have a crystal go missing. Now, if it breaks, that means it really took an energetic hit. So I think a lot of us are familiar with the evil eye, which is another little protective talisman that you can have on you. That's good too. I'd say maybe you might not need that as much with family stuff. That can be really helpful in work dynamics. If you deal with the public a lot, just keeps kind of that energy off of you. But if an evil eye works, it's going to break. So crystals are kind of similar to that, where if it takes a really big hit of energy, it can break.
Interesting.
And it doesn't mean you did anything wrong. It means it actually like went to work for you. So if you find yourself with a broken crystal, like one of my favorite things to do is to like give it back to the earth or throw it in a river. That's a really beautiful way too. But I don't think I would pass it on to someone else at that point.
Yeah, no.
Also, probably like a broken crystal isn't really the vibe.
No.
But yeah.
Of gift giving.
Right. Here's my broken stuff. Yes. But yeah. Yeah, that's what I would say about that. So it's either like it was time for it to go, or it really took on a big hit of energy. And, you know, it kind of served its purpose. And in that case, give it back to the land.
Let it move on.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yay. Awesome. Well, I love this. Thanks for joining us here this week.
This is a timely conversation, too, for the holidays.
Yes. Yeah. We're going to pass you off to sound healing, a little mindful minute to kind of help you drop into your body, kind of help you with a holiday reset.
Yeah, that moment of calm.
Yes. So
love it.
Thank you guys for joining us here this week.
Thank you.
We will see you next week. Bye. Hello and welcome to this mindful minute. Today we're going to do a little holiday reset, as I know we are in the full swing of things with the holidays, and it's going to be a great time just to take a quick pause, drop into our bodies, and really just enjoy the holiday season. All right, let's begin by closing down our eyes, taking a few deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. And in through your nose and out through your mouth. One more. In through your nose and out through your mouth. During this holiday season, we are going to practice being mindful, slowing down, and pausing to enjoy the minute. When we slow down to enjoy the moment, we get to embrace the true meaning of the holiday season, which is sharing love and kindness and joy. We slow down from the hustle and the bustle. We spend a few moments enjoying our holiday decorations, listening to joyful music, and spending time with loved ones. As this season comes around once a year, we embrace the time with our families and loved ones. We bring joy and gifts and so much love. We protect ourselves by setting boundaries. We take time for ourselves to show up as the best version of ourselves. And we love to the fullest. As you slowly come back into the room, wiggle your fingers and toes. Slowly blink open your eyes and rejoin me in the room. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day and a beautiful holiday season. See you soon.